CRT is racist, it is abusive, it discriminates against one's color.
How did this?
Enough of the toxicity and the division and looking at your skin color.
You're teaching children to hate others because of their skin color.
Ultimately lead to this.
Youngkin has been elected governor of Virginia.
It's a big night for the GOP, an alarm bell for President Biden and the Democrats heading into next year's midterm elections.
This is the first time Republicans have won an election for Virginia's top office in 12 years.
In 2017, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Ralph Northam beat Republican candidate Ed Gillespie by 9 percentage points. In 2020, Joe Biden soundly defeated Donald Trump. Virginia, a once solidly conservative state, looked to be on a fast track to dark blue. That is, until the gubernatorial election of 2021. What caused the upset?
Education in the Virginia gubernatorial race was the number one issue. And the one thing that trumps everything is our children.
Loudoun County was in the spotlight over the last year, but this is happening all throughout our country. Parents are not co-parenting with the government, and those that are taking the time to actually research and find out what it is that their kids are being taught, even in such subtle ways, are standing up and they are speaking out.
So the things that were being taught in school were finally exposed. The curtain was pulled back, and now parents could say, wait a minute. What are you learning here?
We don't want our child to learn to hate himself because of the color of his skin, or any other child with darker color skin to feel that they are a victim. That's not going to help any child progress and learn the skills that they need to learn to become productive citizens.
So how did education become the issue in the Virginia gubernatorial race? Last year, what you had was parents that were organizing to try and reopen schools. In March, there was another inflection point where you had 6 school board members that were part of this viewpoint restricted, closed Facebook group where parents were being plotted against for voicing their opinions. You started having people showing up at school board meetings, giving passionate speeches against critical race theory in schools, against sexualized materials in schools and libraries.
My child is not oppressed, and don't assume that.
You get to late May, I think was an inflection point, and that's where they put a teacher by the name of Tanner Cross on administrative leave for going to a school board meeting as a private citizen and speaking out against a proposed policy that would require teachers and students to refer to other students by their preferred pronouns.
And I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa, because it's against my religion, it's lying to a child, it's abuse to a child, and it's sinning against our God.
So it doesn't matter what your political ideology is, your race, your ethnicity, your religion. Everybody puts their children first. And if they see that the government is not putting their children first, then they will push back.
When most Virginia parents either didn't realize what their child was being taught in some Virginia schools, or they simply were not sure what to do about it, Pryor founded a group called Fight for Schools to shine a light on what students were really being exposed to in Loudoun County.
We are the shield that will stop this abuse of our children, that will stop teaching people to hate each other, that will stop elevating socially constructed identity groups over the value of the individual.
I first became aware of some of the questionable content that was being taught last year when my son received an assignment in his 7th grade English class asking him to essentially check his white privilege. Parents want to be in control of knowing that their kids, when they send them to school every day, they are getting a quality education and not being politically indoctrinated or psychologically groomed.
Education was already a central issue for parents in the Virginia gubernatorial election. Then came the September 28th debate between Terry McAuliffe and Glenn Youngkin.
I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach.
Parents have a fundamental right to be involved in the upbringing and the education of their children.
We want school board officials to hear our concerns and to work with us. Terry McAuliffe dismissed that. Glenn Youngkin listened.
We're gonna embrace our parents, not ignore them.
Parents are really the ones that swung this election over to red.
We need to get away from the angry politics of division and go towards the Youngkin model, which is unifying people of all political ideologies behind one overarching message, and that is the future of this country and the future of our children to be leaders in this country.
And then our curriculum is going to be absolutely focused on making sure we're getting the political rhetoric out of the classroom and really focused on how to prepare our kids to how to think as opposed to what to think.
The fact that Youngkin is now governor of Virginia has sent shockwaves throughout this country. And I think what it shows is that the power of parents unifying for their children is the political issue for the next 3 years.